There's an infinite number of universes out there. In many of them, there is a podcast by us. In one of them, it's good. Please enjoy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Before we start the show, Zeb has got this joke stuck in his head and he really wants to do it, so can we just give him 10 seconds? Go.
So I recently learned that the famous composer Sebastian Bach was reborn into the modern era as a millennial. I found his Patreon page and he has a heap of new stuff on it, such as his new songs such as I Ain't No Holla Bach Girl.
Yeah, he's also done like a rock collaboration called Bach in Black.
He even did some movies like Bach to the Future.
Yeah, Empire Strikes Bach. These are all terrible knockoffs. Like, he like has no like production value in them at all. Like, it's just him with some cardboard. It's really weird.
He plays every character.
I know, he's got those long Parliament locks, those white hairs.
He has this one YouTube video, which is just, it's a clip from Terminator, but it gets to that bit where Arnold Schwarzenegger turns around and says, like, he's going to return. But instead of saying his normal way, it's this guy's voice going, I'll be Bach.
Yeah, and then it's just his face photoshopped on the Terminator for the rest of the movie. It's really weird.
But yeah.
Hello and welcome to But Yeah with Aemyn and Zeb. I'm Aemyn.
I'm Zeb.
And it's one of those special days like it is every week on the But Yeah podcast where we invite you to look at daysoftheyear.com with us, but specifically the one that we pick because we like to pick the best one. And
because there's obviously a winner.
Oh yeah, obviously. It's the 29th of January, by the way, if you're listening now or in the future, like 2035. When Bach has returned from the past to bring us those good tunes.
He's Bach.
Yeah. Sebastian is Bach. So I just want to quickly mention we got 30 more downloads to go till we hit 1,000 downloads on the whole show, which is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever got 1,000 downloads on anything. So thank you guys for listening, and we love you.
Yeah. That's so much. Like, I couldn't hold that many. I couldn't.
I can't hold that many thumb drives that each contain one episode.
I can't. If they're all on floppy disks,
we would die. We would be crushed. The weight of the floppy disk would create a gravitational field so strong it would just crush all matter around it, creating a black hole and killing everyone. So thank you so much, guys.
I think it would just be a big cardboard box. I don't think it would. Quite that severe. I mean, I guess floppy disks don't hold much.
So getting back to the day, it's 29th of January, and it is Curmudgeons Day.
It's a famous day, a day to celebrate all your grumpy grandpas.
Everyone has one of those grumpy grandpas in their lives.
Or just a grumpy elderly person somewhere.
Or just a grumpy child, I guess, could be included.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be old to be like a curmudgeon. Like, I feel like anyone can be a curmudgeon. Just if you're grumpy about something, or if you've done something kind of grumpily silly. I don't entirely know the definition of curmudgeon. That's kind of how I imagine it. That's what I imagine it means. Grumpy and ridiculous.
So Curmudgeons Day is one of those holidays most people find hard to believe is real. There's no need to worry, though, because you don't have to be grumpy to celebrate it. Apparently. There are many schools of thought regarding Curmudgeons Day.
I don't like that.
You're a grumpy purist.
That makes me grumpy.
There are many schools of thought regarding Curmudgeons Day. Some say it's a holiday where you're supposed to stay home all day and do nothing. Others, though, see it as a day when you're permitted to be as miserable and grouchy as you like. In fact, they consider it a day when grumpiness should be celebrated. Rah!
Why can't you do both? Why can't you do both of those at once?
Alright, I'm going to read this last part angrily. So, hang on, get me angry, Zeb.
I'm using 2 recording pop filters.
No, you can't do... What are you... He totally was, though. He had the foam, and then he was holding the circle... I don't even know where to start, but if you're not feeling too ill-tempered, though, you can still celebrate Curmudgeons Day and have fun while doing it. Here are a few ideas on how to celebrate this holiday without necessarily being grumpy yourself. Spread the cheer and make a curmudgeon laugh. Watch a film featuring curmudgeons such as grumpy old men. take a few moments to appreciate your life and why you really shouldn't be grumpy. That's got me back. I took a few moments to appreciate my life. And now I know I shouldn't be grumpy.
But you should be, because it's Curmudgeons Day.
Yeah,
so.
I'm very confused.
But like in a happy way, like celebrate that grump.
This day specifically says Curmudgeons Day is an official holiday.
It is official.
I guess.
As sanctioned by the Council of Holidays?
I guess, yeah. I'm guessing the UN just meets up to discuss the days.
Can you have more than one official holiday on one day?
I guess? Can you have...
I feel like we're always picking the official one, or at least we're making it official.
Yeah, but what if I said this is the official sandwich of the day, and I brought my sandwich, and then you said, no, wait, I have an official sandwich of the day too. Can we have 2 official sandwiches of the day?
I think you need to be an official to declare if something's official.
That's true.
So if, like, you or I were a senator or a politician, or a police officer, we could then...
I think firemen probably have some control over it too.
Even a postman, I guess.
Yeah, like they're pretty official.
Because they're postal officers.
Like if you talk to a postman, he has to like give you a citation.
So, can you declare this sandwich the official sandwich of today, my postman? And you're referring to like my postman.
So how have you been a curmudgeon this week, Zeb?
I'll tell you one thing that is silly and makes me kind of grumpy, but I don't know. I also kind of like it. So the heat makes me grumpy. It makes me very, very grumpy, especially because I work night times and stuff like that. Makes me very, very grumpy as I try to sleep through that sonorous heat. I've had a flimsy little fan about I don't know, just a regular size fan. I can see when it's doing fan things, but you know, I have yet to have felt it. And for a while I've been like, I'm getting a good fan. I'm getting a deluxe fan. I'm getting a super duper fan. So I went over to Bunnings the other day and was like, I'd already been previously, last time I had to go to Bunnings to get like a hammer or something, I don't know, masculine that I needed for some reason that I've probably already lost. And I looked at the fans and went, that's the fan I might get. And I looked at the price tag and went, maybe, someday. Not today though, no. but yesterday I was like, you know what? Eventually I'm going to need a fan. I want a good fan. I don't want to gradually become a part of my bed by liquefaction. So I got a fan. There was a massive box. I had to like reach over the other boxes. There were two of a similar price. One was $1 more expensive. I don't want to say the exact price because that makes me kind of grumpy as well. But it was over $100. One was $1 extra over the $100.
Which one was the one less traveled?
Well, they were both in boxes. They weren't used fans.
All right.
But there was one on display. It was a regular looking fan. I was like, ooh, it's kind of fancy. But that one was $1 extra. And I looked at the other one, it was $1 less, and it was a big box. Now, one thing I should note about myself is I don't think it's really a thing being measurement dyslexic. But if there was, I would probably be it. I have terrible spatial reasoning. Maps confuse me. If I look at distances as words, as like numbers, I generally don't. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's just a series of symbols that I can't translate into reality until I really think about it, which I don't do because I don't want to. And I looked at the size of the box and just sort of went. I looked at the number. It didn't go into my brain, and I went, "This is a reasonable sized fan, just folded up a heap." And then I tried to lift it up, and it was real heavy. And I was like, "Good, that's what I want."
Oh, it's got that heavy duty packing in it.
That means there's lots of, I don't know, fan metal.
This is a
that's
very
what you want. I wanted because I wanted a metal fan.
Mass equals strength. This fan is a very strong fan.
Yeah, which is true. Although it seems like most of the weight is in the base of it, so it's very difficult to move. Long story short. It's 70 centimeters, like the circle part of the fan is in size 75 centimeters.
Yeah, I got some numbers for you when you're ready.
Okay, give me numbers. Okay, give me them.
Okay, so your fan is as wide as 8,000 sheets of paper.
Oh, like stacked up on top of each other. Okay.
Yeah, stacked up. It's also 1/8,000th as tall as Mount Kilimanjaro.
Just to help everyone. Picture this.
Yeah, just visualize Mount Kilimanjaro, and then just like take that those first like 10 steps, I guess. I don't know how many steps there are up to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. I'm glad that they got those steps up to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, because for like a while there it was rough for mountain climbers like trying to get up there. But now you just get the stairs and it takes a while. It is 7,854 times.
Wait, so you just climb the whole mountain via stairs? Is that how it works?
Yeah,
That sounds horrible. That sounds horrible.
They got those stairs. They take a lot of resources to maintain.
It's less mountain climbing, more just stair climbing. No one wants to go stair climbing.
I know.
Hey, you want to go stair hiking?
Like,
No.
and after a while, the stairs wear down, and then they're uneven. And like, if you're just trying to walk up there while checking your phone, it's like you might trip. It gets rough.
Point is, the fan is huge. It's huge. It's really big.
It's a log fan.
I'll put a picture on our podcast Twitter to sort of illustrate, I guess just to put a picture of it.
Yeah.
Of my old fan and my new fan next to each other, hanging out as buds.
Oh, can you please Photoshop it into one of those dinosaur charts?
I will.
Human, dinosaur, your
I
fan.
will. That's exactly what I'll do to, in an accurate sense, to show the size of my giant fan, which is a nice fan. I'm definitely refreshed with it on. It's just that my whole room's architecture has to be built around this thing now because it's so big. It's so big. I don't know how I did this. It definitely makes me grumpy, but it makes me cool too. So I guess it relieves. I'm less grumpy in one way and more grumpy in another way.
Yeah, you're like
at myself.
You're like balancing your Sims health bars.
You can never get rid of the grump. You can only replace it with different grump.
What would so like in The Sims? What would be the heat on the life bars?
I guess environment.
Environment,
sorta.
And then what would be the fan? I think that would be environment as well.
But that'd be positive environment. No, like it'd be like the regret. It'd be more like an amorphous emotional. It'd be it'd be your money.
Oh yeah.
Your money would be less,
Okay.
and that would be the bad part. There's a bar which specifically says regretful purchases, and it would be in the red. I don't know how you relieve that. You make more regretful purchases. Regretful? Does that mean like it was gretful, but you did it again?
Oh, there's so many purchases that I regret and I love them, and then there's other purchases that I regret and I hate them.
Is that because you did it? No, I think it's you buy one bad purchase once and you regret it, but you buy it twice, you regret it, you regret it.
I
You can't
guess.
undo it though. You can't ungret a purchase unless you take it back. But I didn't want to. I thought that crossed my mind, but I didn't want to go back and went, I'm real dumb. That's the reason I want to return this. That's my reason for returning it.
Please take this large fan away from me.
Can I please get the other fan, which was $1 more expensive, but actually reasonable size, but I guess more power packed?
I will give you a shiny new dollar. You take this fan away from me and give me that fan, and can we please just not talk during this exchange? I think all you have to do is drag your fan back there, go rah, 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 and then they go ha 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 ha, and then you go rah, 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 and then they go rah, and then they give you what you want.
I feel part of the problem is that I literally couldn't lift it to get it back there.
Ah, that's how they get you. They put all those bricks inside the metal.
And then they come into existence. I don't know how, like, it was easy to lift in box form, but now it's in fan form. I could never get it back in the box.
Wait, hang on. Have you checked inside the fan for Trojans?
I assume they're all going to pour out and kill me soon if that's the case.
They're just waiting.
Like,
in
there's
there.
probably, that wouldn't surprise me, actually. There could be about 20 Greek soldiers inside this fan, based on its size and weight. I've been tricked.
Hang on, before I buy this fan, how would you describe its size in Greek soldiers?
Definitely enough to destroy your town.
Oh man, ma'am, you're gonna love this car. It's gonna be perfect for your children. This car takes about 8 Greek soldiers in capacity. It's a great car. It's very spacious. It's 8 Greek soldiers spacious.
So what about you? What's made you grumpy this week?
So it happened again, and I can't remember when it was that I was talking about a similar thing happening a while ago on the podcast. I think it might have been around Spooktober, but
It definitely happened though. I remember this.
I got another door-to-door salesperson, and they did.
Last time it was art.
Last time I had a traveling art gallery show up at my front door, and I stood there for an hour looking at looking at big pieces of arts, just generic arts.
I like to imagine them like the Majora's Mask salesman, just like a big backpack covered in paintings.
That's pretty much it, but without the backpack. Like they had a big art book thing, and they were trying to sell me framing, I think.
Yeah,
but they were also like, I don't know if they. That's my problem with door-to-door people. I don't know whether they're humans and they're trying to just relax and have a good time and they don't really care if I don't buy anything. Or I tell them I'm not going to buy anything and they still show me and then they're still actively trying to sell it to me. I can't tell whether they're just okay, I know you're not going to buy it, but let's just hang here, I guess, and I'll show you these arts. I have to do this. It's the dilemma.
What was it this time? Was it art again or...
So this time it was vacuum.
Oh.
It was super vacuum. It was, this vacuum that has, hang on, let me just check. I wrote down a few different features a while back. But it's this super vacuum that, does 900 things. Where are these ridiculous features? And they did...
It'll clip your toenails.
The way they did it was super weird. I felt like I was in the 1950s. Because, first this guy showed up and he was here, we're just going around the neighborhood spreading the word about our company. Here is a free gift. And he gave me some laundry detergent. And then he was I'll be back in a minute. And then he went away and he waited a while. And then he came back and he was all right, I'm back. Which I guess is a technique. I'm back. I guess that's a technique for getting people more... curious about your thing, but it just felt like a bad video game.
Just let him stew on it for a bit. And
yeah,
he'll want it more.
Let him stew on this incredible gift I have given him of laundry detergent. And then he came back and he was all right, so we have this vacuum thing and we want to show you. And I was I don't think so. And then Rose was a little bit interested, but she didn't think they would be there for that long. So they came in and they started setting up this vacuum to clean our little rug. And it's it's this crazy machine. It's metal and then it's got all these first of all, it looks just like a small metal thing that then you attach everything else to.
Yeah.
And so they were just showing us all these attachments, starting off with regular attachments. And then they get to this this attachment that is for sanding your wooden deck. And then an attachment for that, which is for...
So it's like Inspector Gadget if he was if he was a vacuum cleaner.
A vacuum. Inspector Vacuum. And it's got this attachment on the sander for massaging your back, which is real convenient. And then it's just all these... attachments that there's too many of them. And
the back attachment sounds potentially horrifying. What if that went wrong? What if you got vacuum?
Yeah, what if I forget to take the sanding part off and try and vacuum my back, and I sand all the flesh off of me.
Oh, my sandy flesh.
Oh no, my flesh! I needed that to live. I'm just a skeleton now.
It keeps all the outside out of my insides.
My skeleton has left my body because I'm an idiot.
I guess that's also an issue in that case, but
so then,
it can happen.
Then once they were done showing us the massaging thing, they were you will never forget this feature. It's amazing. It can vacuum your bed. And then they vacuumed my bed. And yeah, so it's an amazing product. And... you should buy it, but I'm not going to buy it because I don't need a vacuum that does 100 million things.
I don't really need a vacuum to do one thing, to be honest. I just need to vacuum, I guess.
Yeah, it needs to do, for one, does it check that box? Does it vacuum? Is it a vacuum or is it not a vacuum? Is it a coffee maker? In that case, it's not a good product for your needs if you're wanting to vacuum. Is it a kettle? They're not a good vacuum.
It's still impressive, just not useful.
So I'm thinking, what can we add to this vacuum? Can we add like a boiling water function so you can make a coffee while you vacuum?
Like I assume it attaches to your back, like that's like back to your back, like a big tank, and like the tube comes out, and it has various attachments on like flexible like wires where you put your phone, like some cereal, and like another one which has a spoon that you eat with.
Oh, it did have a headlight.
What? In case you're out vacuuming at night, I guess.
Yeah, it did. It did have a special slot that you can put your vacuum's tube into, so that you can pull it and untangle it.
That's kind of cool, actually. I kind of like.
No, that's not cool. It's ridiculous.
It's amazing.
You can untangle things with your hands.
Yeah, like a savage.
Can we get a phone charger in this baby?
Oh, surely. Like, that'd have to be... Effectively, it's just acting as like a port, like an extension cord multi-port thing.
This vacuum is amazing. It's also now your main computer. Plug your monitor into it, you're gonna love it.
Is it like one of those floor ones that... What do they call them? BBs? The ones that just float around the floor cleaning up?
No. It's a floor one that you drag around the floor or push around the floor.
Ew.
It's a mobile hotspot. You can tether it to your Wi-Fi now and just boost that signal. It also can function as a microwave if you need to heat up a snack.
Man.
We're also like developing some new features recently.
Does it play music and like... Because that'd be useful, actually.
Oh, hell yes. No, yeah, this thing...
Like, it's just like a little DJ station.
Oh, for sure. It's got like... it's got those little buttons that toys have that let you do like a cool scratch effect. So you can like join in the song. So like you've got like your favorite rock and or rap artist, and you can just press that button and it'll go like... And you'll be like, wow, that was really fun. So we've been researching a bunch of new things to add to it, and what we think... kids really would love is like a compartment to store your fidget spinners. That would be good. Oh, it's also a vape. So when you're done vacuuming and it's time to party,
The vape juice.
you can just pour that juice straight in there.
Wait, do you just smoke the garbage that it vacuumed? Just vape it up?
Well, what you do is you pull the head off the vacuum, you put that baby in reverse, and you put the oil in the dispenser, and you just suck on the end of the tube. And you can do all the cool tricks. Like, what are your favorite vape tricks?
Oh, a 380, 360?
I like the one where they make...
An ollie?
The one where they do the Lord of the Rings dragon as a vape trick, and they like blow out that cool fire dragon as smoke.
Or the ship?
Yeah, or they do the ship. You like blow out.
Or the sorry.
Well, what you do is you vape out a bottle first, and then you vape out a ship inside the bottle.
Vape ship into the bottle. It's like that whole hobby where you build the ships in the bottle, but even harder.
Yeah, but you vape in. That's the trick I want to see. I want to see someone vape a ship into a bottle.
A vaped bottle, not a real bottle.
Oh, even a real bottle, that would be still pretty cool.
It'd still be pretty impressive.
Especially if you can seal it and keep it in there.
Yeah. You can just vape various things into bottles and just keep like, this is my gallery of good vapes.
Yeah, in like 50 years' time, we'd be like, oh, this is the ship Grandpa meticulously vaped into the bottle.
Oh man, you could call it the gallery of dope vapes. That's what I'd call it. Oh man. That would be boss. I'd love that.
That's something I would actually be impressed by, but I really don't think it's possible at this time without the vape vacuum.
Yeah.
Because once you strap into that baby, a lot of things become possible.
More than you'd even dream of. Also, it gets in your dreams.
Yeah. So buy one today. I can't remember what it was called, and I can't remember who they were. And good luck. Let's go to our good advertisements this week.
This kind of did one.
Yeah, I guess we kind of just sold everyone on the vape vacuum.
The vape vacuum.
But I think we have some amazing products this week for you to come browse. So drop in to our advertising zone.
Are you too passive, but you still want to have more control in your life? Do you feel like people often walk over the top of you? People don't give you any agency. You don't have control. Do you want some control though? But not too much control, because that's just your personality. You're not really an aggressive person. Did you know there's a middle ground? Take our passive-aggressive enhancement pill. Leave angry notes.
Eat other people's food out of spite.
Don't respond at all when people speak to you.
Laugh at people's sad stories.
Click it so it says seen, but don't do anything else.
Disregard people's good news.
When someone gets a new haircut, just say, oh, you got a haircut.
Dislike their video and say nothing. Leave a poor review.
With no advice on how to do it differently.
When someone asks you how your day is, tell them it was bad.
You need to take these pills. They make you grumpy. They make you angry. But only a bit. Just sort of irritated, constantly that low-level irritated. Side effects may include
anger, rage,
taking control of your life,
results,
and increased anxiety.
Thanks, pills that make you grumpy.
Hey everyone, we're back. And I thought for this section of the podcast, we might talk about Curmudgeons Day, but we might try to, rather than discuss the ramifications, talk more about the why of Curmudgeons Day. Why do you think Curmudgeons Day, why are people curmudgeons, Aemyn?
Because they're just real angry. They're all stressed out. Like, when you leave your house in a messy state and you watch TV all day, and then you get to the end of the day and you have that, that feeling over you that just, you feel like you're being dragged to hell all the time.
Yeah, I know that feeling, actually. That gross at the back of your stomach, that couch disease. I don't know. It's a real specific feeling, actually.
I know, I hate it.
You just feel sort of sticky at the back of your brain and stomach, and you just sort of I really want to be outside. Maybe it's just vitamin D deficiency. It's literally a physical thing.
Maybe. It's how I feel when I, eat snacks all day.
Yeah, yeah.
And sodas.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling. I feel like it's also it's like brain fatigue, but the opposite, because you haven't been thinking. You've just been passively experiencing the world and just been like, oh, I wish I could. You're just going to get up and think. You want to walk. You want to talk. You want to just interact with the world because you haven't been for a whole day. It's like the bad sleep.
Yeah, I feel like it's the sort of thing that, a lot of the population would feel, and, part of that would probably be why they just, go to work, come home, sleep. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who just feel like that all the time, and that's why they're so angry. It's
a different type of one. It's nowhere near as bad as physical exhaustion from work or emotional/mental exhaustion from work. It's more exhaustion from not doing anything. Exhaustion from Netflix.
Yeah, do you judge people for complaining that they feel bad even though they didn't do anything?
I don't know.
I don't think you can, but the instinct is there.
They do still physically feel bad, but on the spectrum of how bad things feel, it's not as bad as working. Yeah,
sort of ironically, if they were, they might feel better. That's the problem.
Yeah, in a way you do. In a way, work can be fulfilling. Depends on the type of work. At least, you can sleep well. Well, I hate going to sleep after sitting there and doing nothing. Because I feel like I'm just burning the day. Anyway, what I was sort of getting at. So, a lot of, curmudgeonhood, mood and all of that sort of stuff, it just feels good to complain about shit. I think it's part of it. It's really fun, don't you think?
I don't know. I'm still, building my muscle for complaining. I feel like I never...
Ah, right. You're only new to it.
I never really complained that much, I don't think. I don't know. And you would know. Have I complained that much?
You complain about,
You?
Me. And how I record things, but I'm helping you is how I view it.
You're helping me grow my complaint muscle.
I am. I'm enhancing your complaint lobe.
Yeah.
It's a very specific lobe.
No, I don't think I describe myself as a curmudgeon just yet. I'm still getting there.
I feel you don't want to be a curmudgeon. You just want to have the ability to curmudgeon.
Yeah.
You just don't want to be a curmudgeon. You just got to be able to exercise curmudgeon.
Yeah, definitely. It is important to be able to complain when something needs to be complained about, like Zeb. When sometimes it's important that I complain about Zeb and his microphone tactics, because otherwise the show wouldn't sound as good as it could.
Yeah, and sometimes I've got to mix it up and try different types of mistakes, just to keep Aemyn on his toes.
So you had some actual specific things to talk about, didn't you?
I was going to just like tangent it into like how social reasoning works, but I'm not doing that smoothly. So at the front of your head is where all your social brain is. In terms of like evolutionary like stuff, if you partake of that, there's a couple of types of brains in how they talk about psychology. You have like the old fishy lizard brain, which is probably why we hiccup. I've heard that's my favorite theory to explain why hiccups exist.
Yeah.
It's the fish part of your brain freaking out every now and then because it goes, "Oh, I'm not in water. I need water to live." And that's what hiccups might be. I don't.
Man, humans are dumb.
I don't know how sciencey that is, but I like it. I like the theory, whether it's valid or not. And then there's the lizard brain, which I guess is a little bit better. It starts to have emotions. Then there's the monkey brain, which is smart, but not quite.
To clarify, a human brain is made up of all these brains in one skull, correct?
Yeah. Well, like, first, inside, there's the fish brain. Inside of the lizard brain, there's a fish brain. And inside of the monkey brain, there's a lizard brain, which contains a fish brain. But then a human brain contains a monkey brain, which contains a lizard brain, which contains a fish brain.
Oh.
The fish brain breathes.
Okay.
That's what it contributes. The lizard brain contributes, I think, like, basic, I don't know, other stuff. It's a bit better than that. The monkey is really the mammal brain, I guess, sort of.
It's just capital G good, capital S science, TM.
Yeah. But the human brain is special because it's the social brain.
Okay.
That's why we're good. Well, also, like, it contains all the stuff that make, like, it's probably where consciousness is, but I mean, not really. There's, like, obviously lizards and all that probably still have consciousness. It's just a different degree of consciousness. I don't know. I'm not going into that. I'm going into social reasoning. Humans are really good at, like, packing up into groups. Other animals do it.
Yeah.
But especially mammals, I guess. But we have a specific area that you can, like, essentially, like, punch out, and it takes away all your social skills.
Oh, God. Or, if you didn't have them to begin with, it punches out the empty space.
Yeah, if you didn't have it to begin with, then you just already...
And then you can just, like, store some snacks in there.
Yeah. I assume that's how psychopathy works. You just have a heap of snacks there. You just sort of eat them now and then, a little bag.
Are the people who, like, treat psychopaths called psychopathists?
Psychopathists. Yes. No, they're psychologists, but yes.
Close enough.
But I guess you can't really treat being a psychopath in a sense. Psychopath is really the bad word for it. The correct word for it, I think, is, what is it? I don't remember. Antisocial personality disorder. So it's APD.
Ah, okay.
But there's also psychopathy, but there's also sociopathy. I don't want to go into that. They're all slightly different. One's socially involved and one's more physical is probably the best way to shortcut your way through understanding it properly. I'm talking about the physical one, where you just don't have that for some reason, or it's deteriorated.
Ah, yeah.
Throughout your lifetime, it does sort of deteriorate a little bit. It happens a bit in old age. The theory being that's why old people are a little bit more offensive. Because that part of their lobe is just a little bit less functioning than it was in their youth.
Ah, okay.
That's sort of getting into territory like neuroethics, I guess. And like all of that is a psychopath, which completely doesn't have that area at all, are they responsible for being, not having empathy? They just don't have it? Is it their fault?
Yeah, it's a tricky, like, topic to, like, talk about whether, like... Because, like, humans can be, like, so complex that they have their own personalities and things like that, where maybe someone is just an angry person because that, like...
Is angry a personality trait?
Angry. I think it might be.
Like, it's more of a... Can you put any emotion as a personality trait, like hungry?
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me, like... There's, like, people of various levels of positivity and niceness and things like that based on, like, how they've composed themselves from all these experiences that they've been through. And at the end of the day,
yeah,
either they've chosen to be a certain way or they haven't, and their influences have made them into this person. And the influences can include just, like, their experiences and then whatever mental health things they might have.
Yeah.
So it's a really rough question trying to figure out if it's fair to call someone a dick.
I mean, you're being a dick by calling someone a dick, but, like, I mean, they have to be called a dick, otherwise they'll just keep being a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to call it out.
Yeah.
Hey, you're being a psychopath. Oh, I guess I am, actually. I mean, they're not going to know.
Yeah.
Especially if they lack the ability to know in the ascent of actual psychopaths, I guess. But, like, I don't know. It's a bit of a buzzword. Like, it's sort of... It exists, but it doesn't exist. Like, they always talk about how, oh, in the corporate... There's a lot of psychopaths in business, essentially. Because they're really good there. They're efficient. Because they don't have any morality weighing down their business decisions.
Yeah, and like, a big problem with talking about mental health stuff is so much information is... like put through movies, the filter that people like to put out as interesting.
Yeah.
Like, so there's all these tropes and things like that of certain disorders. Like, I was listening to the Positive Negative podcast where they were interviewing Addison Peacock. It's one of the episodes, who does the Cryptid Keeper podcast, which is a really good show about like mysterious creatures and things like that, like reports of them and just like
cryptozoology and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, cryptozoology. It's just like a comedy podcast, but it's really good. And she was talking about what OCD and how that's portrayed in movies versus how it actually is.
Yeah,
and that's fascinating.
Like, it's portrayed as this whimsical sort of thing. Ooh,
like I got to count all the things, or I got to make sure all the things are in order.
Yeah, but actual OCD is, or like, people sort of talk about, I'm a little bit OCD, but actual OCD is not like that. I literally can't control what it's like Tourette's type stuff, but for flicking switches.
Yeah, it's like recursive thoughts and things like that, and like thinking something's going to happen if you don't do something.
To loop that back to what I'm talking about with the social lobe, the actual name for it, I think it's just the prefrontal medial cortex, and it's related to that as well. It's a part of the brain which essentially it's a stopper. It stops you from doing stuff. That's why it's so valuable. It stops you from saying stupid stuff or doing unsocial things that would make you be spoken ill of in the village.
Right.
But also stuff like flicking switches and all that sort of stuff.
Ah, okay.
Is related. It's not necessarily the exact same area, but there's a network there. But it's interesting that there are functions in the brain. There are areas of the brain which literally their function is to make you not do something.
Right.
And if you knock them out, then you can't not do the thing.
That's fascinating and terrifying.
It kind of implies that, like, parts of the brain just don't get along.
Yeah.
No, they go, hey, no. Because I guess it's kind of like it's not this well-oiled machine. It's something which first the fish brain was made, and it was made by one team of programmers. And then the next team of programmers came along and went, I don't know, let's just build this over the top of that. I don't know how to, whatever. And then the next team come in, and then the next team come in, and no one understands what the last one did. They just keep building new things to, like, just vaguely guide it in a new direction that works better. And that's the brain. It's a mishmash of stuff.
No, it's all really interesting, and I love talking about it. But I've got this weird taste in my mouth. Can you taste that?
Is it running out of time?
No, I can taste something soapy.
I think I can taste that too.
Welcome to the Tide Podcast, an anti-vor show within a show where we bring you a new thing not to eat every week. And so this week, there's a news article that I want to talk about. Trader Joe's in America is making its paper receipts healthier, but don't eat them. So Trader Joe's is working to make its paper receipts less harmful to customers. Although there's no guarantee that the prices on those receipts won't still give you a heart attack. Well, that's a little editorializing.
Yeah, projecting their beliefs.
Yeah, projecting their beliefs on what the prices are.
That's not what journalism's about. Journalism is about complete impartiality.
Yeah, so...
like we always are.
So, Trader Joe's announced on its website it is getting rid of receipt paper that contains bisphenol S, which is BPS, and bisphenol A, or BPA, an estrogen mimicking industrial chemical.
Ah, the plastics.
Plastics. The US government has already banned BPA in sippy cups, baby bottles, and formula packing back in 2002, but it's still allowed in products like receipts, plastics, and the lining of cans of food. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, you always see the BPA-free label on things.
Yeah, my drink bottles, I specifically buy drink bottles and I always get them BPA-free.
2010, the FDA said that it had some concern about the potential effects of BPA on the brain, behavior and prostate gland of fetuses, infants, and children. Some studies have linked the substances to hormone disruptions and increases in diabetes and obesity, but the US has yet to ban the substance outside of the babyverse.
The babyverse.
What's the babyverse?
That's the universe inhabited exclusively by 1,000 babies.
I don't want to live there, and I'm glad that I don't. But I'm also I'd visit the babyverse, I guess, and just go see what's up.
Yeah. Like It's always great to see other people's kids. You just don't want to have any.
So this universe is full of adorable babies, I'm assuming.
Oh, babies.
And the smell is not great.
It's just, it smells like 1,000 babies.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that a lot of people who visit there aren't there to work. Most of them are just there to visit the babies and like feed them and things like that.
Yeah.
And not like there's not a lot of helping the babies out with like cleaning and things like that. So it's kind of a mess there.
Yeah. I mean, can adults even get into the babyverse? That's my question.
That's a good question. I guess you would have to be a real cool baby.
You have to like sneak in and pretend to be a baby.
Yeah. That's not you're not a baby. You're just a quarter of an adult.
Damn it.
You're just 3 adults on their bellies stacked up. So Trader Joe's is working on replacing BPA lining in its products where possible and clarifying for customers which product packages still make use of BPA. I feel like Australia has like been way ahead of this for a long time.
Yeah, man. Like this was the big thing. Like last year / the year before, the whole BPA thing. Like,
yeah, like,
there was a big thing about McDonald's with their receipts.
Yeah.
The issue was more so if you have a certain type of soap and you wash yourself with the chemical soap, like the regular the squeegee soap rather than bar soap, like antibacterial soap.
Yeah.
It sensitizes your hands to BPA apparently.
Oh man.
So then when you wash your hands with that and then handle a receipt which has BPA in
They
it,
explode.
you absorb it much more efficiently. So it's like don't combine those.
Oh wow.
So I think they had that soap at Macca's or something like that, and they were like, "Ooh, don't." It's still one of those early things where it's like it might be a problem. And everyone's like, "Might be, I don't know."
Yeah, like vaping. So we're over here in Australia, just like able to eat anything we want, like just picking stuff off the shelves, putting it in our mouths,
Off the ground,
swallowing
just
it.
grab anything.
It's great. But if you're in America, it looks like not quite as progressive as us. You got that BPA covering on everything. And while Trader Joe's is still doing the good work getting rid of it, they still recommend not eating their receipts, apparently.
What a bleak world. Receipts are like the most nutritious part of the meal.
So we're back with the But Yeah podcast. How'd you find that little tangent?
It was very informative. Now I know one more thing I shouldn't eat.
Yeah.
Receipts. Although here in Australia, I guess I can. It's no problem here.
You didn't already know not to eat receipts?
Well, I mean, like, I had never been explicitly told not to, or why I shouldn't eat receipts. It's sort of implied, but not quite.
Yeah, I don't really have the word on BPA in receipts in Australia. I'm assuming Australia is mostly BPA free, but I'll get back to you.
I think the little plastic bottles you still get water in aren't BPA free.
Right.
I think lots of things aren't because it's still pretty early days in a lot of ways, but we're deep enough into it now that whenever you see most products, it says whether they're BPA free.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't say if they aren't BPA free.
What are we talking about? Did you have one more thing to bring up, or is that it?
So one final thing that I just thought I might put to everyone.
All right.
What if the pre-cogs from the Minority Report, that movie?
Oh, yes. Good thing we're ending on a topic that ties everything we've just talked about into a neat little package.
Yeah. What if when they did get away, and then they started a talk show where they were gossiping, but like giving the gossip of the week, but the next week coming rather than the week just
What
then.
would the show be called? Hang on, let me look up breakfast show names. You just keep talking for a moment.
But yeah, I just think it'd be great. They'd be just all talking over the top of each other. I imagine it would probably be all three of them. And then maybe they'd have like a guest.
So in Australia, we have Sunrise, we have Today, we have News Breakfast and The Morning Show.
Probably...
The Morning Minority.
Turning Cogs.
Cogs. God.
They'd be just there in a panel, that one of those one-sided desks looking out at the audience. Still bald, I assume.
So these are the bald pre-cogs.
Yeah.
Are they in their barbs? Or
Yes, they are. They are still in the baths, but like physical, just regular bathtubs.
They're like, hello everybody and welcome to Talking Cogs.
He's the charismatic one.
He's very well known for like flying off the handle and going on tangents. And he's like, so this week, wait, are they talking about what they're gonna talk about, or are they talking about what's gonna happen?
They're talking about what's going to happen.
So this week...
Because they're using their precog abilities to give the future gossip.
Yeah, so this week in the Golden Globes, we have a number of winners. that we're looking forward to seeing.
Why don't they just share all the results? I guess, as well?
And the Golden Globes are like, fuck those guys.
They just interview people who are gonna win.
Yeah, so how do you feel about the fact that you're going to win? And Leonardo DiCaprio is like, well, I've already won once, so I think it was this show that I won on. I can't remember now. I've won so many awards.
I guess I'm pretty stoked. So this week coming, you don't win. How do you feel about that? Like, this is the first time he hears of that. They bring him on, and they don't know what they're going to tell him. Oh, you don't win this week. How do you feel about that?
I'm sorry. It doesn't look like you're going to be winning this week.
So how do you feel about the nip slip you had later this week?
How do you feel about the scandal you're involved in soon?
So unfortunately, our guest today, he dies later this week. What do you think of that? What? Obviously, they don't tell anyone else. They want authentic reactions, I guess.
Yeah. Oh man.
They're like, it could be not true. One in 100 times, it's not true.
It may be not true, but generally,
it probably is.
It is probably almost definitely true. I mean, like everyone who comes on this show dies eventually. That's just a fact.
But yeah, I just thought that'd be cool. Talking cogs, turning cogs.
Yeah, I love that idea. Talking cogs.
But yeah.
So thanks for listening. We love that you hang around with us until the end of the episode, and we really appreciate it. If you want to come tell us that you appreciated us, you can find us on Twitter at ButYeahPod. In the description now, you can follow both of us individually. I'm Aemyn.
I got a tweeter.
And Zeb finally gripped those bird wings with his bare hands, and he took flight. And he has a Twitter that he's done one tweet in, and I'm real proud of him.
I've done 2 tweets. I did a second tweet, thank you.
You can find his Twitter in our description at ButYeahPod. You can also...
soon to be full of 3 tweets.
3 tweets. Trays. You can also find our Facebook group, the But Yeah Podcast group, which is very unimaginatively named, and we'll be making a little poll at some point to rename it.
We should name it Talking Cogs.
Talking Cogs.
Because it is just talking about upcoming...
That is going to be way too obscure. So thanks for listening. We're 30 downloads away from 1,000 downloads, and that's really cool. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.